All right, guys, got some big breaking news for you. The White House has now officially responded to Marianne Williamson launching a primary campaign against Joe Biden for the Democratic nomination. Now, before I play the video for you, here's what they could have said and what they should have said. We live in a democracy. We welcome Marianne Williamson to the race. We're going to have a healthy exchange of different ideas, policies, and philosophies, but at the end of the day, we're very confident that ours will win out. That would have been a classy response. That would have been an intelligent response. That would have been a fair response. But of course, instead of going in that direction, they went in the direction of smug condescension and derision and disrespect. Let's listen.
Is the president annoyed, frustrated with Marianne Williamson for jumping in the race ahead of him? Did he want a clear field to run against the Republican nominee in 2024?
Just not tracking that. I mean, if I had a what is it called, a little globe here, crystal ball, then I can tell you. But I imagine 8-ball, whatever. If I can feel her aura, I just don't have any. I just don't have anything to share on that. Gosh, you guys are making me laugh now.
Is the president
She's spiritual. Idiot. Clown. That is, this whole room, people were supposed to be reporters and journalists and hold the powerful accountable, and the White House press secretary. It's just, they're out-of-touch elites, and they have nothing but smug derision and condescension for anybody who's not in the club, anybody who's not already part of that establishment. And you could see it here. It's oozing from what she said and their reaction. There's so many things that are obnoxious and wrong with this. So, first of all, yeah, Marianne Williamson is spiritual. Okay, well, I'm an atheist. I'm not spiritual at all. But 70% of the country is Christian. A higher percentage than that is religious. Joe Biden himself is a Catholic. We just had Ash Wednesday the other day. He was walking around with black ashes on his forehead in the shape of a cross. I mean, just broadcasting to the world that he's a member of a cult, of a particular religious sect. If you tell me, as somebody who's an atheist and non-religious and not spiritual, to say which is more reasonable, Marianne Williamson's secular spirituality or Joe Biden's Catholicism, every single day of the week I'm going with Marianne Williamson's spirituality. That is way more logical. There's way more reason to go down that path than there is to be part of any particular religious sect or ideology. So, massive hypocrites on that front, but more importantly, again, these are the guys who ran multiple campaigns on democracy. We believe in democracy. And the Republicans don't, and Trump doesn't. And then here they are. They have a Democratic challenger, and all of a sudden they're concerned for democracy and fairness. Totally out the window. Totally out the window. They're just mocking her, looking down on her. And by the way, in turn, they're mocking you and laughing at you. And every single American who's not already in Joe Biden's camp, they're laughing at here. There was a recent poll, only 25% of the country wants Joe Biden to run again. 25%. So maybe instead of being smug and condescending, maybe take the challenge seriously and maybe address it with substance. Because guess what, guys? Tell me, who's more serious? A candidate who's in favor of a $15 minimum wage or one who's against it? A candidate who's in favor of universal health care, Medicare for all, or one who's against it? A candidate who's in favor of getting money out of politics, or a candidate who's against it? Who's more serious? I think you know the answer to that. And on every single one of those issues, Marianne Williamson is the more serious candidate. But look, I mean, every time they open their mouths, they prove that the stuff they say they believe in, they don't believe in. So all the talk about democracy, nonsense. They don't actually mean it. And then the other thing is, you know, in the era of Trump, they made a big deal about, we're the honorable people, we're the kind people, we're not people who disrespect others. Well, what about this? This is totally disrespectful. In fact, remember this? I'll fire you on the spot. Biden tells staff to treat others with respect. Unless it's Marianne Williamson and it's a challenger in a democracy, in which case we'll be smug, we'll be condescending, we'll be derisive. I mean, again, they're really telling on themselves here. So, I mean, do with this whatever you will, but, I mean, it's clear to me that these people are the clowns. Ironically, as they want to point the finger at Marianne Williamson and act like she's a clown. You know, they want to point the finger at outsiders, people who are not elites, and say they're unserious. No, you guys are unserious. Marianne Williamson said this in her launch speech. Like, who's serious? The person, are you serious if you're in power, but you're letting kids starve? No, they're not. She's more serious because she actually will try to fight to end child hunger and child poverty. They temporarily reduced child poverty by 50%, and then it shot right back up, and none of them batted an eyelash. They didn't care. He didn't fight for an extension of the child tax credit. We don't have it. There was a sunset provision on it, and it went away. So, yeah, you tell me who's serious. I think it's super pathetic. I think it's classless, and I hope Marianne Williamson responds.